Okay, babies. So in this video, we're going to learn how to solve systems of equations by substitution. It doesn't really involve the calculator that much. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the first one. Okay? So what you do is you substitute one of the equations on the other one. All right? So what I'm going to do is you always look for the one that's already solved for y. So that second one, it's already solved for y. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute it where the y is. Okay? So negative 3x minus 3. And now instead of the y, I'm going to put what the y equals to, which is negative 5x minus 17, and that equals 3. Now at this point, you can either go to equation solver and solve it, which everybody knows how to do, or you can just go ahead and solve it by hand, because what you're doing is you just made that equation instead of having x's and y's by substituting the value of the y, not the value of the y, I'm sorry, the expression that y is equal to, you just made everything in terms of x's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move the 3. And I'm going to go to my equation solver and figure out the value of the x. Alright, so that would be negative 3x minus 3, negative 5x minus 17 minus 3. And then I'm going to do enter alpha, enter. You guys know how to do this. And the value of x equals negative 4. So x equals negative 4. Now to figure out the value of y, now I'm going to come over here and plug in that value so that I can figure out y. So if y equals negative 5x minus 17, it's going to be negative 5 times negative 4 minus 17. All right? And then you can do that in your head because that's pretty easy to do, or you can go ahead and do it in the calculator. Either way is okay. So y equals 3. So the solution for the systems of equations on this particular system would be negative 4 and 3. So that was number 1. Okay? Now, this second one, it's very easy to do because you already have the value of y. This is a Hoy. Y can only be equal to negative 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and substitute it on the y so that I can figure out the x. So 4x minus 3 times negative 2 equals 18. And again, you can go to equation solver or go ahead and do it on your own. Negative 3 times negative 2 would be 6. And then I'm going to take away 6. 4x equals 12. Divide by 4, and x equals 3. So the solution for the systems of equations on this one would be x equals 3 and y equals negative 2. All right, number 3. So I already have this one solved for y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the y, and I'm going to substitute the other one, the other equation, the other line, and I'm going to go ahead and substitute that in there. So it would be negative 3x minus 2, and then you open parentheses and you put all of this down. And then after that, I would just go straight to equation solver. I'm going to move that negative 12. So when you go to equation solver, you're going to say minus 3x. Sorry about that. Negative 3x minus 2, 5x minus 7, plus 12. Let me make sure that I did it correctly. Enter alpha, enter, and x equals 2. Now to figure out the y, then I'm going to have to go to the y equal to and plug it in. Plug in the substitute the value of the x. So this would be 5 times 2, which is 10. Take away 7, y equals 3. So the solution for the systems of equations in here would be x equals 2 and y equals 3. All right. For number 4, if I'm going to do it for substitution, I got to solve one of these for, it's easier to solve for y, and you have to be very selective which one you solve for y. I would definitely solve that one that I just highlighted for y, because to solve for y on that one, the only thing that you're going to have to do is add 4 x's. So y equals 4x plus 6. And now I would take that and substitute it where the y is. Take all that and substitute it there. All right, so then that would become negative 5x minus, and you got to open parentheses because you are substituting y by 4x plus 6. And then after that, I would just go straight to equation solver and do my thing over there. Let the calculator do its thing. All right, so I'm going to go up and solve it. That would be negative 5x minus 4x plus 6. And then that would be minus 21. Enter alpha, enter. And the x equals negative 3. And now, to find the y, I'm going to have to go ahead and plug it in over there. So then that becomes 4 times negative 3 plus 6, which is negative 12 plus 6, which is negative 6. So that is my y. So now the solution for this systems of equation would be negative 3 and negative 6. Okay? All right, for the last two, 5 and 6, not only am I going to solve, but I'm going to go ahead and substitute the values of the x and the y to make sure that this is correct. I believe this is an 11. All right, so very careful who you solve for. I would use that one, and I would solve for x, because you can also substitute the x. Who says that you always have to do the y? You really don't, okay? So then I would say to solve for x on this one, the only thing that you're going to have to do is add 2y. So this would be x equals 2y plus 11. Okay? So then you go to this first one and you substitute the value of the, the expression that x is where the x is. So this would be negative 7x minus 2y equals negative 13. And I'm going to take this and put it in there. All right? I'm going to move it up so that you guys can see. So this would be negative 7, 2y plus 11 minus 2y equals negative 13. And see, and now I'm solving for y and not for x. And I will most definitely move that negative 13, go to equation solver, and do my thing. Okay? All right, so that would be negative 7. Now, I'm going to have to put an x because I don't want to put that y. It's too much work to put the y, but remember that you're solving for that y plus 13. So negative 7 parentheses 2y plus 11 minus 2y equals, plus 13. So enter alpha, enter. Your y equals negative 4 because you're solving for y. Y equals negative 4. All right, so now to figure out your x, plug it in there. So x equals 2y plus 11. So you're going to say 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8. And negative 8 plus 11 equals 3. That would be your x. So the point would be 3 and negative 4. You have the x over here and the y over there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go a little step further, and if this is my answers, I'm going to go ahead and substitute and to make sure that that truly is the solution for the systems of equations. So this is what you can do. You're going to take that x equals 3 and y equals negative 4, and you're going to plug them in the original equations, okay? So this would be negative 7 times negative 4 minus 2. I did it the wrong way. I'm sorry. I plug in the W. I'm going to start again. So x equals 3 and y equals negative 4. So it would be negative 7x minus 2y equals negative 13. So instead of the x, you put the 3. And instead of the y, you put the negative 4. All right, negative 7. That, if this equation is correct, this should be equal to negative 13. So let's see, negative 7 times 3 minus 2 times negative 4. And there's your negative 13. So it works for the first one. So negative 13 equals negative 13. I'm going to go ahead and do it on the second one as well. X minus 2y equals 11. Instead of the x is a 3. Instead of the y is a negative 4. All right, so this is 3. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8. And 3 plus 8 is 11. So we've done it right. This is another way that you can check to make sure that your answers are correct. All right, so for number 6, which is the last one, and the more you practice, the better you get at knowing which one are you going to solve for what and which one are you going to substitute. I would most definitely solve that one for y. By adding the 5x, so y equals 5x minus 2. And then I would come over here on this one and substitute the value of the y. So that one would be negative 3x plus 6y equals negative 12. So now I'm going to go ahead and place it in here. And then I'm solving for x, not for y in this one. Negative 3x plus 6, and then open parentheses and substitute what y is. See, now I'm looking for x, and I will most definitely move that one and go to equation solver and do my thing. So that would be negative 3x plus 6, 5x minus 2 plus 12. Sorry. So negative 3x plus 6, 5x minus 2 plus 12. Let me make sure that I did it correctly. Negative 3x plus 6, 5x minus 2, and then plus 12. Enter alpha, enter. X equals 0. So this must be the y-intercept because x equals 0. All right, so now I'm going to come to what y equals to and substitute the value of the x over here. So this would be 5 times 0 minus 2, and that would be y equals negative 2. So my point is 0 and negative 2. All right, let's go ahead and substitute it to make sure that it is correct. All right, so x equals 0 and y equal negative 2. So negative 5x plus y equals negative 2. So this is negative 5 times 0 plus negative 2. That would be 0. So negative 2 equals negative 2. So the first one works. Let's go ahead and do the second one. The second one is a negative 3x plus 6y equals negative 12. All right, so negative 3 times 0 plus 6 times negative 2 should be equal to negative 12. That would be 0. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12, and negative 12 is equal to negative 12, so you did it correctly. All right. We're going to do a little bit more of this on Monday, more substitution on Monday. So I hope you guys have a great, great weekend, or you had a great weekend if you're watching it on Sunday. And I'll see you guys on Monday.